Let's see what's going on YouTube. We may be live on YouTube right now, and
Sweet.
who freaking knows? But we're
I
gonna
think
get
we
this
are
going.
actually.
Well, hello if we are.
This is why we're in desperate need of a producer. But
Yep.
that's
Gabby,
okay.
might
if
have
you're
one
watching,
covered. Yep.
Casting call out there if anybody. Yeah, you know what? Casting call out there if any of you guys have, if any of you audience members or anybody that's watching this at a later date and time, give us a call. And you want to be a producer, give us a call, give us a ring, because we are in desperate need. You know, it doesn't look like it's live right now.
it is.
Oh,
it's
it is live right now. Whoa, there we go.
We
All right, I popped
are
in.
live.
Let's hope we
Every
can cut
one of
some
our
that, but that's all
episodes
right.
starts this way, I feel like.
Every single one of these things starts like this. But what's up, everybody? We are live. Welcome to Breaking Ancient News. Today is Sunday, January 4th, and we've got a fantastic show ahead for you guys. As always, I'm joined by my two spectacular co-hosts. We've got Dave Floyd, co-host of Mike and Dave's Multiverse, fan of all things ancient history. Also, one of the owners of one of the coolest hat collections on the planet. Dave, how are you doing today?
Good, guys. Good. I'm excited. It's beautiful here in Georgia today. But I kind of want to talk about this pull-up competition you guys challenged me to and then seem to forgot about. But we'll bring that up later.
That'll be on the dock. And of course, the other co-host here, Cody McDonald from East 10 Outpost. He is a storyteller and explorer. And you know him with his smooth, sultry, buttery voice and MC of the Quest for Ancient Civilizations. How are you doing today, Cody?
Well, that's a tough intro to beat, but shoot, I'm doing good. Happy Sunday, gentlemen.
Happy Sunday and a Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
Yes, Happy New Year. Yeah, we haven't
yeah.
convened since then, have we?
No, this is our first time as a group, other than the meeting earlier today. So we're all catching up as friends and getting things planned. 2026 is going to be a big year for Breaking Ancient News and for the archaeology discovery community. There's a lot of things going to be happening, and we're going to excited to jump on the ball and get some of these going. But we're going to catch you up over what you guys missed over the holidays. I've got a fantastic list of topics in front of me. Let's just run through them real quick, and we're going to get the ball rolling. Of course, Graham Hancock, the OG himself, he was on Piers Morgan talking about some fantastic things, the Ark of the Covenant. So we're going to definitely have to cover that. Dave over at Mike and Dave's Multiverse has had a plethora of spectacular and interesting, intriguing guests with fantastic stories to tell. So we're going to cover some of the recent guests that Mike and Dave's had on over there. East 10 Outpost got some new things to share and a new link to some new merch over at East 10. Danny Jones, he had the Land of Chem. He was on there talking about a whole bunch of crazy stuff happening in Egypt. Dan Richards, Dan the D-Dunker, he's posting a whole bunch of new things that Cody's going to share with us about quartz and some other things. One of our own, Jay Anderson, he was on Joe Rogan recently, just absolutely crushed it. They covered a whole variety of topics from UFOs to pyramids, so we're going to talk about some of that stuff today. The Underground podcast, Ancient Bone Breakers with Stephen Holland and Michael Arbuthnot. Will Brown, personal friend of the show. Shout out to Will Brown. Storytelling is always next level. He's got some excellent stuff that he's posted recently. Aiden Robbins, of course. Actually, I don't know who this is, but the island at the end of the world in Newfoundland. I hope I said that right for you Canucks out there. I think I did. Excuse me. Then Jeff up north, we're covering him. Praveen Mohan, the Impossible Temple in Cambodia. And then if we get into it, which I think we will, we're going to talk about our favorite medieval weapons from when we were a kid and what we'd be equipped for nowadays, because some cool discoveries were made. But as always, if you have any questions about any of this stuff, links will be down in the description below, so you can link to anybody's channel. I highly recommend East 10 Outpost, Mike and Dave's Multiverse, and the Megalithic Mystery Channel. They are coming out with some of the best content on the planet. But why don't we just get into it, gents? Start off with it himself.
The man himself.
Yeah, I feel like we're talking for 20 minutes now, so let's just pull up some clips here because there's some stuff that I need to share. Graham Hancock, as I said, he was on Piers Morgan. I love when he goes on Piers. Pierce's show, ends up being a screaming fest, and Graham Hancock doesn't participate in those episodes. He usually gets there when he's one-on-one with Graham, so we can view all the fantastic dialogue with him without having anybody trying to shout over him. So let me pull this up here. Let's see. I want to share this screen, and we're going to get this going. Again, this is why we need a producer, y'all.
Yeah, totally.
But
Dabby, if you're watching, you better be ready to step in
I'm also trying to
Yeah.
send this to my mom right now, so just bear with me.
Okay.
Mom and
So this
Dave,
is
if
just
you're
an
watching,
post.
shout out to
Going
you.
and look at it.
Because it's the why won't anybody be allowed into the
Oh,
Kaaba
actually,
in Mecca?
hold on.
Because it's the
Why won't
most
this
sacred
pause?
place as far as the
Before we get into that, real quick, I don't know why this is running, but it won't let me pause it here. Anyways,
Will they
before
ever
we get
let
into this,
anybody go in?
I want to talk to you about what one of the things that Graham Hancock was talking about on the Piers Morgan show. So what we have here is there is this legend that the Ark of the Covenant, the biblical Ark of the Covenant, ended up in this Ethiopian church, the Tahawido Church. The Tawahedo Church. I apologize if I'm butchering the
I
pronunciation.
like to think it's there.
In this place called
Same.
Aksum. And so Graham Hancock is telling Pierce this story and talking about some of the effects that it's having, that this apparent relic has on some of the guards and the priests that are watching over it. And nobody's allowed to go see it. So, but let's listen to him and listen to Graham
an
Hancock
incredible
talk
story.
about this.
Sound.
Go in and look at it.
because it's the why won't anybody be allowed into the Kaaba in Mecca? Because it's the most sacred place as far as the Ethiopians are concerned.
Is there anyone alive who's ever seen it?
No,
No.
apart from the Guardian of the Ark. And the Guardian of the Ark, and I've met several of them,
Yeah.
they all get ill. This
And-
is another thing that intrigued me. They get cataracts over their eyes.
Why?
They say the Ark caused it. I asked specifically through a translator how
And they do it till they
how
die.
and
or-
why did the Ark cause this to you? And he just said the Ark is a thing of fire. And that was the moment when this story really got its hook into me. The absolute honesty with which that person spoke, and the feeling that he was in the presence of some awesome power, intrigued me. I'm offering this as an alternative
Sure.
point of view,
No, that's
and I'm backing up, supporting.
No, I
what
get
the
it.
Ethiopians
I get
say.
it.
But I might not be.
when they
So that was pretty
incredible story.
So I think that's a part of the new book that Graham is working on right now. Part of this ties into he's working on, but it's a fascinating tale. The Ark of the Covenant ended up there, and it's not the first time I've heard of this. I'm sure you guys are familiar with this a little bit, right?
Oh yeah, the tales of it being in Ethiopia have been around for a long time. Like the Nazis were aware of it potentially being there.
Mm-hmm.
And World War II, we're doing the Ahnenerbe. We're doing expeditions out to Ethiopia to try and retrieve some of those artifacts. So it goes back a long time. The knowledge of the Ethiopians having preserved a lot of the very ancient, biblical knowledge and relics. So it's fascinating, and it makes me wonder if it is there.
Yeah, it is fascinating. And some interesting facts about Ethiopia. Ethiopia it was the only African country that has never been invaded or occupied by a European power. Almost as
interesting.
like some divine force has been protecting them. Maybe. Who
Uh-huh.
knows? They were occupied by Italy, I think, during World War II, but it was like Italy just had some troops there. It wasn't like a full occupation. So they're like the only African nation that's remained fully independent for
That
its
is
entire
amazing.
existence.
Yeah, this isn't the first time Graham's been talking about this either. I've read every one of his books and seen every one of his documentaries, and I've heard this. He's the first person I heard this from on a documentary. Like, I can't even remember which one, but like a 20-year-old documentary. But what I will say about the Nazis looking for it, if the Nazis were looking for it, you can better bet the West was looking for it too.
Yeah, well, I mean, they didn't find it.
No.
Apparently, if it's there, in Ethiopia. But even if it isn't there, what is causing these cataracts? What is causing these lesions that they have on the skin and the cancers that the Guardians of the Ark are suffering from, allegedly?
Could be
Very
just
interesting
weird lead-filled water or something like that.
Or like
It's
a
like a
box of-
radiation poisoning.
Yeah, box of radium. That's what I was saying. Like you have a big old box of radium. You remember it? Yeah, I don't know if you guys remember this. The tale of the women that were painting the glow-in-the-dark watches with radium, and they all got cancer on all their hands from using that stuff.
Huh.
So
It-
very
well,
interesting.
the manna, supposedly, right? That's what the ark is filled with, is the manna. So something about it has an energetic property that
Yeah.
to the exposed hands and body doesn't play well.
Yeah, another interesting thing about the Ark, you know what's sitting down in Mar-a-Lago? A life-size,
Yep.
full-size replica, fully made of like the
1-to-1.
exact gold, 1-to-1 of the Ark. That's a little bit
And the
interesting.
wood. It's
Yeah.
made to the exact biblical specifications.
It's very strange. What is Donald J. Trump doing with the Ark down there? But hey, if any of us get invited to Mar-a-Lago, that's one of the things I'm taking a picture of, a little selfie down there with the Ark.
I wonder if you're allowed to
You
do
know,
that. Are you
one
allowed
day
to
we-
do that?
Yeah, I think there's a picture of like JD Vance standing next to it and some other people. Like,
Yeah,
I've seen pictures of it.
Who's the guy who does all the undercover stuff? He infiltrates all these like different organizations undercover because he's got a picture next to it. And he's the one that kind of got the internet all worked up about it. But we need to have Kay on one day and talk to her about the conspiracy of the the Ark at Mar-a-Lago, because I
Yeah.
bet she knows all about it.
Definitely.
Shout out to Kay if she's watching. Also, Suru Apcraig, Claire with blue hair, as always. Thank you for your support. CTRLAT Dig. I don't know if he's
Control Alt Dig.
Ah, there
Like
it is.
that.
There it
Instead of
is. There it
Control Alt
is.
Delete.
Okay, I was like, huh? Shout out to you guys and anyone else who's watching. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, really appreciate you guys.
Thank you
but
all.
Real quick before we move on here from Graham, you guys do rock, by the way. It is nice that this community here is healing, and the disagreements that we have from some of these figures is healing. Maybe we can put to rest some of our preconceived notions about how we feel about people. But it seems like Graham Hancock
Stop
is doing
ignoring
that with
us,
Zahi
Luke.
Hawass. If Graham Hancock and Zahi Hawass can do it, why not Luke Caverns and us? But
You could love
anyways,
us
let's
again,
listen to
Luke.
hear what he
It could
says.
happen.
Zai.
Zahi and I get on okay.
Yeah.
We've had we've had some misunderstandings in the past.
I mean, if I was to go out there, because he's invited me, would he let you come with me?
Yes, I'm sure.
It'd
I'm
be quite
sure.
a fun trip.
I'm
wouldn't
sure
it?
it will. What Zahi and I have come to is we've agreed to disagree. There's too much mutual insulting going on in this world, where archaeologists insult alternative researchers and alternative researchers insult archaeologists. Zahi and I have agreed that we will not insult each other personally anymore. Our disagreements will be purely on the basis of our interpretations, our different interpretations of the evidence. And I don't think Zahi is opposed to different interpretations of the evidence, but he is opposed to flimsy, badly thought out ideas.
Who makes the final decision on whether this drilling can happen?
Well, ultimately, it's going to be the Minister of Tourism and Antiquities who make that decision. But Zahi would be very influential in that aspect, and it would be necessary to show that the drilling could be done without causing massive damage. And I don't see why it should cause massive damage.
Yeah, fascinating. So it looks like they're mending fences, building bridges back, and Pierce said he wants to go over there and hang out with both of them. So that would be a cool experience.
Well,
But,
with
Could
What do
you
you guys think about
imagine
that?
those guys just like smoking a joint together, all three of them?
they may have already. With age comes
Probably.
wisdom, guys. In my 20s, I was basically a barbarian. In my 40s, I'm much more peaceful. I think that's part of it. I think part of it is that these worlds need to come together, or we're just going to be running in opposite directions and then occasionally banging our heads against each other like a couple of rams. And that's not how this shit's going to get solved. That's not how we're going to figure this stuff out. I'm going to talk about that later in one of my segments, Underground Podcast. So throwing it out there.
Awesome. Well, hopefully we can mend some fences too. But actually, while we've got you here talking, Dave, I want to kick it over to you. And why don't you tell us about some of the people that you've had on your podcast lately, Mike and Dave's Multiverse, because you've been just killing it with this string of guests.
Yeah, the first one I wanted you to pull up is B, not A. I want to go in that order, but you can pull it up, but don't play it yet. I wanted to say, you might notice that it says Dave's Multiverse on my screen right now. There's been some pretty big changes over the holidays with Mike and Dave's Multiverse. Mike is just too busy, and it is what it is, and there's no hard feelings. And Mike and I both love each other, and we're friends. But because that's what people are asking, is everything okay? Yeah, everything's okay. Mike just made a grown-up decision that he couldn't do a podcast anymore. And so that's what happened. It's now Dave's Multiverse.
Wow.
I don't know what that means, but that's some breaking ancient
I did
news.
not know that.
I don't know
That
if
is some
that means
breaking news.
I don't know if that means I'm going to try to solo it. I don't know. It means I'm going to make it more my own, and I'm going to feel a little less restricted by other people's timetables and schedules. And so that might be a good thing. But like this literally just happened 2 days ago, so the dust is still settled.
Wow.
Awesome. You heard it here first. Heard it here first on Breaking Ancient News. Congratulations to you, Dave. We love you, Mike. We're looking forward to seeing you at events.
Yes.
Because I know you're still going to be coming to you
Love
stuff.
you,
But
buddy.
congratulations to you, Dave, for
and good luck.
for taking this venture on by yourself.
Well,
This is gonna
I had
Well,
some
not by
moments.
yourself, but
I have
Yeah.
Brittany. I have Brittany, but I had
Yeah.
some moments where I was going, like this is not what I intended, right? I didn't intend to be a Danny Jones or a Julian Dory or anything like that. I started a podcast with my friend. Things happen and stuff happens in life. And so now it's going to be sort of a new thing. And so, I don't know what that looks like, but I got some encouragement from some very people I respect a lot that kind of came out of the nowhere and was like, "Hey, you should keep doing this." So I'm gonna.
Good.
So anyway, if you want to pull, thanks, buddy. Thank you. If you want to pull up that first one, I think it's Hakeem Isler.
yeah, I got it here. Let me share it real quick.
Yeah, just a little background. Did a full interview with this guy. He's been on Naked and Afraid twice. He's a survivalist. He was a psychological warfare expert in the U.S. Army. He
awesome.
is very much into the potential of the human mind. He's a practitioner of like 5 different martial arts. I forget which one he's a master of, possibly ninjutsu. But he just put on an event called the Psy Games, featuring Dahlia Burgoyne of the Telepathy Tapes and a bunch of other people, basically practicing the limits of human, mind power. I don't know how I feel about all this stuff, guys. We're talking spoon bending. We're talking moving pennies and objects with your mind. We're talking mind sight, so blindfolded seeing and things like that. But go ahead and play. Go ahead and hit go. This is just the trailer.
We work at the Psy Games are mind sight, remote viewing, psychokinesis or telekinesis dowsing, and precognition. I'm watching the trends of what's happening in our own space, and I've been sharing with my partner these robots and how robots are advancing. And then Gemini 3 came out the other day, and a friend did a demonstration for me of what it could do, and that thing is going to take a lot of jobs. There are dark things that have happened out there, and that are happening out there. But then there are also good people who are trying to do good things. The hardest part is the discernment, and then also to not try to categorize every person as a bad guy just because of what they've done in the past or what knowledge they have.
So there's part of me that believes that there's latent abilities of the human mind that have been suppressed, and forgotten on purpose. And I think that might be connected to the lost ancients technology of the lost ancient civilization that we talk about all the time. It's just this playful stuff here from me, guys. But what do you guys think about, for example, the U.S. government used, children and other people with psychic abilities? They still do probably still have programs where they do
100%.
that with remote viewing and all that stuff. I mean, how do you guys feel about these topics and how they connect to ancient history?
Listen, there's validity to it. That's the thing. It's like you have government documents that have been released through the Freedom of Information Act that you can find and download from government websites where they document the results of these types of things. Joe McMoneagle, I'm sure you guys have all heard of him, that, the remote viewer, this works for the CIA. Oh, you debunked him, huh?
Well, his pyramid, how he explained on Limitless how the pyramids were constructed, and I
Okay.
debunked that. It would be mathematically it's impossible.
Interesting.
But I do believe that he is a government agent first and foremost. So there's probably truth and bullshit to a lot of what he's saying, because that's being a government agent, right? I mean, they're never
Absolutely.
going to be 100% honest.
Yeah,
We lost Dave.
we did lose Dave, but the other part of this is there's like the Gateway program. I don't know if you're familiar with this, which is here we go. We got Dave back. It's got the explicit
Yo,
instructions.
my bad.
No worries.
Welcome back.
We're just talking about some of this stuff.
Yeah,
So
Nick Monagle, Limitless. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
I-
there's validity to it, but the problem is there's a lot of bullshit in that realm as well.
Yes.
There's a lot of bleed over with people that that do both. That's the problem.
Okay. Hear me out though. So
Let's hear
the
it.
government, we know from released documents, Aaron, this might ring a bell, buddy. There is specific bloodline tracking that takes place in the government.
Oh,
They
absolutely, I'm
like
sure.
specifically that red hair gene, right? Because it traces back, and now this is where we know from documents that they love the red hair gene, and they follow that and the lineages of it. But now this is my conspiracy. The red hair traces back to the elongated skull people.
Oh,
And I do not believe for 1 second, if you had a skull this goddamn big, that your brain inside was not doing some incredible stuff, right? And probably, I mean, like this modern Nephilim here is making Carbonatrix. The next, oh god, you'll see soon. But anyway, this right here, if you had this much brain, you were for sure able to bend spoons, move around some big ass rocks, do some things that people would think was godlike and magical, right? I mean, that's just, you're doing something with that much meaty brain. We only use 3% of ours, and there is a lot more cranial mass here than I mean, I don't have the biggest head on the planet, but this is a lot more cranial mass. That's all I'm saying.
yeah.
I appreciate the live demo.
Yeah.
I'm
There's
a
possibility.
visual
Nature
guy.
news, baby.
I try to assign everything a possibility, and that one in my mind is lower than probably 50%, but still possible. But
Yeah,
You know,
so-
your ancestors don't appreciate that one little bit, Aaron.
maybe that's why I don't have any of these powers, because they're like, this non-believing
Yeah, they
like,
took it away from you.
mortal. How dare you?
I don't
I just need to
play
have
a
faith.
lot
I
of.
just need to have faith.
I don't play a lot of like phone video games, but I did get hooked to one, and it was called Ancient Aliens, the game.
Oh
And,
my god,
That's
Dave.
fucking awesome.
as part of that, like you could like as you were the alien mothership, and you could like take ancient Egyptians, abduct them, and then like do genetic experiments on them to give them a larger cranium, and then you'd see those larger cranium ones walking around moving blocks with their brain and stuff like that. Look, guys, I'm just kidding.
That's awesome.
Mostly kidding when I say that it may have looked something like that. But that brings to the next one.
I'm not woo.
The telepathy
talked to-
tapes.
I talked to Dahlia Burgoyne. I hope I'm saying that right. She never corrected me. But she is the mother of Lidu. And they read each other's minds. And her daughter is an autistic savant syndrome. She's a brilliant like artist. Once she learned how to speak through this like spell speak thing, she became this like incredible person, but she's literally trapped inside her own body. Okay.
Amazing.
And this is Dahlia talking about it.
There's nothing worse than being in a silent prison. And so I get my
It's okay.
so I get my daughter in there like the next week, and she's saying her first words. She's spelling out. She can only do like 1 or 2 words at a time because it's a big it's a big motor skill thing. There's a lot of skills that we don't know what's going on. A lot of people think they can't understand because their body language is not showing they understand. Their expressions are not showing they understand, but they do.
They do.
It's
That's
similar. Yeah,
wow.
so it's similar to us having our mouths,
Oh my
taped,
gosh.
our arms tied up, and we're in a room, and we hear people all day, but we can't show them we understand.
Cut it. But Dahlia recently appeared on the Danny Jones podcast. She talked to me. I saw her and some of her demos at the Contact in the Desert. She sent me a bunch of videos of her and a group of other people that work together, like literally bending spoons and stuff. But I don't know if I'm allowed to share it or not. But I seen that shit. She sent it to me like directly. And
That is cool.
she participated in the Psy Games, and so there are people like actively like working on this stuff. There's studies going on. I just worry about the woo that gets attached, but my talk with her was outstanding. Please go watch it.
Yeah, definitely go check out all
I'm
of
definitely
Mike and
going
Dave's multiverse, which is now Dave's Dimension. I'm just kidding. Dave's the dimension of Dave. Dave's multiverse for the now. But
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
working
we'll
title,
see.
maybe? Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? But you go check him out. He's got some great stuff on there. Did you want to hit the last one with Henrique?
Yeah, hit it. Just go
All
ahead
right,
and
let
hit
me
it.
pull this up here.
Henrique, one-eyed giant building walls on YouTube. Specifically focuses on cyclopean walls around the world. And he's a funny guy, man. I like this guy a lot.
Everything they did was intended to last. That's something that doesn't fit in our mind. We don't do anything that we expect. So iPhones or mobile phones, they crash after 2 years. So now scholars have two alternatives. Either they go back and redo the work and challenge the assumptions, or they repeat the same idea. So they repeat the same idea because it's easy. These guys had this crazy idea in many places of the world, different continents, built the thing. Sometimes they built it with a level of precision and talent that we cannot match. It's impossible to replicate. And then they disappear and they don't leave a word saying what was on their mind.
So Henrique classifies cyclopean walls there. He categorizes them. He's got like a Google Maps with pins on everyone that he considers the cyclopean wall, and they're on every continent. I mean, except for like the North, Antarctica and stuff like that, maybe potentially. But that's what I found the episode interesting, is because Aaron's been to Peru. There's cyclopean walls everywhere there, but there's some that show up in weird, random places and in countries you wouldn't think, like Russia and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, New Zealand. There's some down there, some strange ones, of course, all over
The
the
Sage Wall even looks like it.
Sage Wall.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It does kind of look like it.
Oh,
I
it
said
does,
what
and
I
it's got
said.
and it's got a
I
nub.
need to
It's
see
got
it
a nub.
myself. I haven't been there.
Yeah.
Oh, it has a nub?
Come up to watch my video on it and come up to Idaho, and we'll take you out there.
Did you look around the other backside of that thing?
Yeah, I got
Aaron?
footage everywhere before they closed it off. I got now you can't even go see it. You can't even go touch it. But I was like climbing all over that dang thing.
You can't go anymore?
So Michael's
you
good
can't go
friends with
touch it.
the
You can go
guy.
near it.
Michael's friends with the guy. We might be able to get in some special access if
Yeah,
I
I'm friends
thought
with
you
the guy,
could.
so-
Mike.
I thought you could contact them and set something up.
Yeah, no, you can go see it, but it's like roped off now. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
They roped it off like other
Don't touch my
archaeological
nut.
sites, that kind of thing.
That's
Yeah,
what
so
got
you
it.
can't climb on it, and you can't.
That makes
like,
sense. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can still go right up next to it and probably take a picture standing immediately adjacent to it. But yeah,
I
it's a little bit
literally
more
just got a
Oh,
text
the
from
chat's popping
Collins
off.
right now.
Yeah.
I said his name and he appeared. He's like
Yeah.
the Joe Hendry of the ancient history community.
Yeah. Well, hey, moving on to the next topic here, we want to cover something that
Okay.
we love sharing here, and that, of course, is the East 10 Outpost. So I want to share a couple of things here. Let's
do
take
love
a
that.
look. You know, if you don't follow East 10 on YouTube, definitely go check him out. This is some of his recent content here. As you can
I've been
see,
behind.
a little bit behind. You know,
But-
we all have. It's been the holidays, and you know,
Because I did some remodeling, gentlemen.
yeah.
I did.
But
I
also-
did some remodeling.
We've also got this little guy right here, where we have some merch.
Sweet.
Some refreshed merch. I
Merch
actually
shop
just
is
bought
live
one
now.
of these shops, the merch shop. I bought one of these awesome mutton chop shirts, so
I'm
that's going to be coming
I'm
here in the
gonna go
mail
get
here
one.
soon.
Some
Looking
iconic
forward to it.
profile right there, baby.
So you can find this on east10outpost.com, I'm sure. Right, Dave? Or right, Cody?
Oh, my website's not
I'm getting
up
a shirt,
all the
I
way
think.
yet, but
Okay.
yeah, if you go to my X or you go to my YouTube, you'll be able to find all this. Yeah, and I've got some very exciting new content coming in the new year. I'm going to be focusing on collaboration predominantly. So almost all of my new videos going forward will feature somebody else in some way, and yeah, it's going to be exciting. I've reworked the studio or the outpost to kind of make it a little more collaboration friendly. So go ahead and play that whenever you're ready. Ooh, we need sound.
Shout out to Cody's kids.
Edson!
There we go.
I put a lot of work into that audio engineering, Aaron. You can't not. Adventure, intrigue, lost cities, ancient mysteries, and more on this week's episode of East 10 Investigates.
Cody's going to be in the lab.
Beautiful.
In the lab.
Just crushing it. That was beautiful.
It's well, every year I try and like rework my studio. Sometimes it's not my choice and the studio floods and I've got to rebuild it. Sometimes I make the choice on my own, but I've continued to evolve it as I've evolved and as I've gotten closer to my original goal of actually getting out and doing stuff out in the wild. So we're like 2 months away from expedition time. So that's I planned on doing that like before I ever even launched a channel. So 3 years later now, here I am finally ready to do what I set out to do in the first place. So
Awesome.
It's,
We're looking forward to it. Follow East 10 Outpost, some of the most amazing content and underrated channels on YouTube by far.
I appreciate you.
Go subscribe. And I'm getting a shirt today. Maybe I'll get a hat. I don't know.
I don't even think I have hats on there.
Oh, you need hats. Yeah, get a hat.
Yeah, I
have
do.
hats.
Damn,
It's my thing. It's my gimmick.
Yeah, I didn't
That's the
even
only gimmick I
consider the
got.
hat people.
Well, hey, moving on here real quick. Danny Jones had a pretty crazy podcast yesterday with Land of Cam. Dave's going to give us a rundown of that, but you want me to pull up this clip here, what we got?
Yeah, I wanted to say hi to the chat quick too. We've got
definitely.
Shaman 711 in there. Jason, what's up, brother? He says telepathy is real, experienced it, not sure. Some of the other claims with telepathy, remote viewing, seeing the terrain around you in your mind, these types of things I've tested myself. Rube, love you, buddy. He says my Jack Russell can read my mind, especially after she has done a dump in the house. So Claire with blue hair also says we can do this. So yeah, shout out to everyone in the chat. So real quick, I watched this whole thing.
Hell yeah,
okay?
love you guys.
And this was a lot for me. Like, I need to watch this like 3 more times, okay? Because there's a lot of engineering and science in there. This dude, Land of Chem, lives in Egypt and crawls around in this stuff, but not just Egypt, all over the world, by the way, if you haven't checked out his channel yet.
Yeah.
And he was recently featured on Matt Bell Limitless. But I just chose to play like the first like minute of this 15-minute clip on the Serapeum, because there's just no way I can clip all the different topics that they talked about on here. I just can't do it. So let's just, I'm going to give you my personal breakdown, but go ahead and play that.
So let's talk about the Serapeum.
Okay.
People say Serapeum.
You corrected me. You're the first person who ever taught me that it's actually Serapeum.
Well, so again, there's all of this kind of bitching back and forth of YouTube people about the pronunciation of these things. Americans say Serapeum. Egyptians say Serapeum.
Okay.
I've been living in Egypt for 3 years. They say Serapeum. I say Serapeum.
Okay.
Like the Osirion, people say it's Osirion or Osirion.
Yeah.
It's a temple dedicated to Osiris. Thus, the pronunciation is Osirion.
Right.
It's not Osirion or Osirion. It's Osirion.
Right.
It's a temple dedicated to Osiris.
Right.
So again, it doesn't matter how we
Yeah.
pronounce them.
Right.
It's completely irrelevant because that's not what they called them back in the day anyway.
Yeah.
So there's all this anyway. Serapeum.
Right.
And I will
If
continue.
you call it Serapeum, you're a poser.
I will continue to say
Sorry.
Serapeum and
I'm sorry.
Osirion. So Serapeum. Nobody's ever proposed a hypothesis for the function of these things.
There's been Chris Dunn had a crazy theory. He I don't say it was a theory. It was like a speculation.
Okay, what did he say? I haven't heard it.
And I don't understand it yet because I haven't read the book. But he told me to
Okay.
read this book called Engines of Creation.
Cut it. It was supposed to cut. I don't know why it didn't. Before the Chris Dunn thing, Chris Dunn did say something about this. I don't remember exactly what. Okay, so what he talks about in this video, and this is just one thing of like super bold claims out of this episode, but he mentions that there was a collection vessel that was originally located above the Serapeum. That's what I'm going to keep calling it. Temple
Serapeum.
complex that's no longer there. And he says that collection vessel, what he theorizes, is to be where they produced hydrogen and oxygen and collected it into that vessel. So that's just one thing. He talks about a bunch of different sites that are the most enigmatic in Egypt, and is proposing what looks to me like really solid biochemical engineering evidence, or chemical engineering evidence that these were manufacturing plants. So I got to watch it again, but did you guys watch it?
I actually
No, I
watched
haven't
that
yet.
clip where he was talking about it, where he had like the different chambers for mixing and using like the river water and stuff that would come in, like mix different chemicals in it. So I watched that, but like I didn't watch it like fully engaged. It was kind of like on in the background while I was doing something else. So I'm like, yeah, I'm with you. I'm like, I want to sit down and get into this because he's regardless of whether this like that's what they were actually doing, he speaks with such confidence and preparation.
He does,
and he backs it up with like actual real science, and that's what I'm super interested in. So everybody check that out. Land of Chem on Danny Jones. We've all got to rewatch it. We can circle back next week and have a nice little roundtable discussion on whether we think it was fantastic or whether we think it was bullcrap, because I think it's huge.
I'll give it a watch.
I think it's huge too, and he did Limitless like literally the following week or whatever. Who knows? That just might have been
He's doing a 3-part
scheduling
series
thing,
with Matt.
Oh, okay.
Which Matt's never done before. So I'll tell you what, if Matt Bell endorses this guy as hard as he's endorsing this guy, he's worth it.
Let me tell you this. I heard about this guy, Land of Chem, when I first met my co-host Mike, who's also a chemical engineer, and Mike endorses this guy, and Mike's one of the smartest guys I know. So I don't know anything about chemical engineering, so when I'm watching it, I kind of have to take the guy's word for it, and he's super intense, that dude. He's like,
yeah.
So anyway,
I like it. He
Awesome.
looks like Chuck Liddell talking about ancient Egypt. And I'm
Chuck
here
Liddell
for it.
talking about ancient Egypt. That's exactly what he looks
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
Well, let's pull up the next thing here because I want to head over to another personal friend of the show here that we've got a clip from, and I say personal friend of the show because he's a personal friend of all of ours, and soon to be on the show, Dan Richards. Dan Richards is always over at D-Dunking, always cranking out some fun stuff. So, Cody, why don't you give us a rundown? What do we got here with these?
Okay.
With the woo, you've been talking about the woo. Get into it more, buddy.
I was so freaking pumped Dan did this because, first of all, Dan really hates the woo. If you know Dan, if you've been following Dan for a little while, you know as soon as it gets to the woo, Dan usually hops off the bus.
Well, that's how he got into this.
Right. Yeah. He's just debunking bullshit. Right. So this kind of stuff is, crystal magic. Right. That's kind of the essence of the video. And what we'll just simplify as crystal magic. So when I saw Dan dropped a video on the power of crystals, I was shocked because I thought he was just going to eviscerate it. And go ahead and roll this first clip.
Manner of piezoelectric crystals for use in electronics and other things, but quartz is still one of the most commonly used materials because it's naturally available and ready to use. Man-made materials require a lengthy process of polarizing the electric potential in the material to make it useful, but quartz works without all that effort. And big surprise, vibrations have been shown to have an effect on human health. In fact, they use different frequency vibrations to heal organs, to heal bones, to help tissues regenerate. It's a really deep rabbit hole. I'll put some links down below. But the bottom line here is, if there was thousands of years ago a group of people that were using crystals, they could potentially have calibrated them and got the right vibrations out of quartz and use them to regenerate bones or help organs or stuff like that. There could be a grain of truth to this, and it could be the leftover memory of a lost technology. Now,
okay,
you guys ever?
We needed.
You guys ever date a crystal woo girl?
All right,
that's I was gonna say. So everybody's
you guys
known
aren't
a
gonna
woo
like
girl,
my opinion
right?
on this.
Okay, Dave, you first. Then, what do you think about the crystal woo? Okay, as you talk to me though, I'm gonna grab some crystals to fend off Aaron's bad vibes. So go ahead, Dave.
First off, I would like to comment on Dan. Appreciate that's what he does. He'll give you some real science on it and stuff like that. And what he said was potentially people. He didn't say they could definitely do that or anything like that. He's just leaving the door open, which should be okay. But I don't know about you guys, but I've been personally healed by some crystal woo girls in my time. So that's all I got to say about that.
All right, Aaron, go ahead.
All right, listen, guys. You know what I believe in? I believe in things that are replicable and that you can get data off of and publish results. And you know what? What in science has replicable, repeatable results? That's called the placebo effect. Oh, this is where we're going to get a little dangerous. Now, what I am saying is that people doctors can give you a sugar pill, tell you that it's a magical drug that's going to heal all your ailments, and it will because your body believes that it will. So
that's literally how they test in medicine. It's like against the placebo.
Everything
against placebo. Yep. Placebo is like 50% effective. Like this is a common thing in medicine. 50% effective for giving somebody a sugar pill for like a bunch of stuff. So that's like, I take these things with like a lot of grain of salt. I think like prayer, like crystals, like things like this. It's like how much of that is the external thing versus how much of that is literally the placebo effect of your body just convincing itself that it's going to work and then manifesting it into reality. So the result's the same is what I'm saying. The result's the same, but like I don't necessarily believe it's the thing. And that but convince me otherwise.
No, but isn't that the thing? Like that's the other thing. That's the woo. The woo is like doing
as long as it works. It works. Yeah.
Right. Well, so it's like two sides, like the yin and the yang. Like you take a pill and you think the science is going to work, or you wave some crystals around in your face and you think that's going to work. It's the same thing. It's just the yin and the yang.
Yeah, but then,
Dan
but
does
still, it's just like it's
specifically-
just a sugar pill. So I think the crystals may be like a physical sugar pill. That's all I'm saying.
That's okay.
Well, so Dan does specifically go into that in the video, that like
Okay.
how much of it is placebo. But the thing is, a lot of these crystals and minerals have scientific data backing it, which Dan did a very good job of laying out in the video, that there are indeed and minerals that just the contact of them can provide you, maybe not the entire spectrum of helpful benefits that are tagged on the about this crystal at your local rock shop, but can definitely apply certain scientific beneficial effects. I'm covered in ones that are that way. And talking about the placebo, okay, at Quest, before it started, like maybe 30 minutes before, as they're setting up, all the vendors are setting up and everything, I saw this necklace and I was stressed. I was reading over my notes and everything, and I saw this necklace and I was like, I have to have that. And it was a ripoff, to be honest, but like I had to have it. I bought it. And then I'm like, you know what, I'm looking up why did I need this, because it was lapis lazuli that this is made out of, and sure enough, it's a throat chakra. So all I'm saying is that shit called to me, Aaron, and then whether it was placebo or legitimate contact effect, I was immediately at ease, and by all accounts rocked it up there on stage. So maybe it was the lapis helping me out, maybe it was the placebo, but either way, the woo worked, right? The woo worked.
The woo worked.
I'm saying, what
But
difference
maybe,
does it make?
Yeah, that's
It
the
doesn't.
point. That's the point.
It doesn't fucking matter.
The result is the
I'm
same.
here for it.
Yeah. But to assign the intention from the object, I think, is where the fallacy lies, because it's not the object
crystals, bro.
providing. It is you that is manifesting the result. Same the placebo. It's not the sugar that's giving the result. It's not the prayer that's giving the result, in my opinion. Again, that's just my initial thought and reaction, because if you have things that you can replicate on a regular basis under controlled conditions, then there's like, hey, there's ground to that. So I'll take a look at this Dan video.
Says the guy with a massive quartz behind him.
All right,
Oh no,
let's
this
see
is
Dan later.
amethyst. This is amethyst, and I don't know what it does.
Oh.
It just looks cool.
It's providing you
It does look
aura,
cool.
bro.
It looks cool. Yeah, that actually,
Okay, play
shout
this
out
next
to
clip from Dan Richards.
Okay, yeah, I'll get this next clip here.
Wait, yeah, shout out
Oh,
though.
no. Shout
plug
out
away.
to my former friend in a past life that I obtained that crystal with. Lots of good memories. Miss you a lot. Miss you dearly. They're no longer with us. But anyways, let's get on to this next clip from Dan, because you got some more stuff here for us, huh? We'll share it
Hell
here.
yeah.
What do you guys think in the chat? I've been outnumbered here with these guys,
Well-
calling them bullcrap. But what do you guys think in the chat? Am I existing
Aaron-
too much in reality, and I do
Where
need
are
to
we
be
at
more
on the woo?
fantastical?
Rubate says, Aaron, chemo affects every person differently. Some it attacks kidneys, others the liver, others the brain. The placebo is just there to show that there is a difference, not what difference. And so you still can whammy yourself with even with chemo and without, like you can nocebo yourself as well. You can be like,
Yeah,
oh fuck,
yeah.
is this chemo
Black pill
gonna
yourself to
make
death.
me worse? But then you're like, oh, everyone's telling me to try it, so I guess I'll try the chemo. But you really
Yeah.
don't want to, and then you do, and then you give yourself the whammy, and the chemo makes you worse. Like, there's a lot of
Yeah.
things to consider. The brain is a big part of it, and your mindset.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shaman,
How much? Well, it's
Jason
just like that.
says lapis is a good one, by the way.
Yeah. It's like how much impact do we have on the reality around us? Like there's that, like, I know I think we've talked about it before, here on the show before, like The Secret, or you like projecting out something to the universe and like manifesting something into reality. So it works both ways. You can manifest negativity into reality. I 100% believe that. And that's the other way we talk about the nocebo. Yeah, this is not going to work. It's definitely not going to work no matter what happens. Like, yeah.
Nocebo. I do like
Yeah.
that.
It's a thing. You just don't hear about it.
Let's get this next clip here.
Could work.
Okay.
And in fact, I think it's a lot like astrology, where the modern day astrology, I don't think is very accurate. I think that modern astrology is built on a lot of presupposition, but it's also informed by a kernel of truth. And that kernel of truth is a long time ago, people could tell the future by seeing the stars, and other people didn't know what they were doing. Esoteric knowledge, mystical knowledge, magical knowledge. I think we have the same kind of thing here. I think that people were able to, or some people still do get benefits from these crystals, but it gets extrapolated into this one does that, and that one does this, and this one does that, and that one does this. And a lot of that's going to be the placebo effect. Placebo effect is really, really, really strong, especially if it has a little kernel of truth to work with, like the crystal actually affecting you on a level that you can't quite put your finger on, but it is changing. Could work. And
exactly what we just said.
Yep. See, I had a hunch I knew where this was going to go when I opened it up to the floor. So I had that second clip ready to go because
there we go.
At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. How the magic happens doesn't matter as long as it happens. So it's just something to consider, I think. Embrace the magic, roll with it, and whatever you want to title it, who fucking cares if it works?
I don't think it has to be magic. I literally have
placebo,
made shit happen
manifestation.
with my mind before, like good and bad.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
however you look at it.
I
As long as
literally
it
have,
works.
like quite literally.
Yeah. I've done that my whole life. Manifested things.
Good
I
and
haven't
bad.
been spoons, but
good and bad.
It's the power of just believing something goes a very long way. So just something to consider, whether it's crystals or anything else. Belief in it enough will get you there.
It definitely will. It definitely will. Well, you know, one thing that we are all hoping and believing for is to make it to the Nobel Prize, the ultimate trophy of the alternative history community, and that's getting on Joe Rogan. Something our good friend Jay Anderson, who's been traveling the world and documenting stuff in 4K, he got on Joe Rogan and they had a fantastic conversation where they covered a ton of stuff.
A bunch, like literally everything. Yeah.
A lot of time on UFOs, but they did talk about the pyramids. They had a few things that I thought were pretty funny I wanted to share with you guys, because this is honestly how I feel about when I talk about this stuff with like my family and friends. I literally think of it the same way. These
pyramids
guys do.
uniquely stand as like an intelligence test because they are so crazy. When you have stones that are so large that are taken from quarries hundreds of miles
500
away,
miles away.
a lot of these people supposedly didn't even have the wheel. So what is this? What, you don't think this is crazy? Like this isn't like, oh, we know they use the wood from these trees to build these homes. Like this is bananas.
Yeah, whole other level.
This is something that would take us hundreds of years today to build.
And one of the things that is said so much, but I guess it's kind of shrugged off just because it's said so much, but it's actually a really important point to highlight. There are no fucking hieroglyphs in the pyramids. Not one. Not a single symbol, not a single element of what we would understand to be dynastic Egypt. And so like you have this incredible contradiction when you go to places like the Valley of the Kings and the Valley of the Queens, gold, and you know, it's adorned in patterns. You can't see a square inch of stone where there isn't something filled to venerate these people. And yet the pyramids are bare. Bare.
Yeah, so that's the first clip I got here for you.
That is a weird fact people just gloss over.
Yeah. I think what I liked what they said is that it's like an intelligence test. If you like, oh, can you believe what the mainstream is telling you? Or do you look at this thing yourself and be like, hey, that's kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
It really is. Like, how much critical thinking are you willing to put into this? Because if you put a little bit in, you realize it falls apart.
I just think it's institutional trust.
I'm gonna
man.
make a shirt
Some
based on
people need to trust institutions, or they get real freaked out and squirrely. You know,
dude,
and
you're
archaeology is
absolutely
one of them.
Correct. You're absolutely correct. I've got relatives. I got good family.
Because I have
friends.
smart relatives, right? That
Yeah.
that won't. So it's not. I don't call it an intelligence test. Just some people need to like believe in some institutional structure. That's what I think.
What's critical
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
thinking,
off.
I think a lot too.
Yeah.
There's some like because like there's some people you can just show like all this stuff and they just won't they won't budge.
Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of people are happy to not think very deep about things. So if somebody in a
That too.
position of authority tells them something, they're like, I'm sold, got the answer. I don't have to think about it now.
It makes shit a lot easier.
Well, these guys talk
as
about it a little
long
bit.
as-
Let's listen to what they have to say,
Yeah.
because they talk about the
You
same
do.
thing.
Enjoy this.
And you have to be on the fringe. And also I think some of the most impressive scientists and creators have been people on the fringe who were laughed at by all their peers.
Well, especially now, because the way universities work is essentially there's a person that is the most important person in that field, right, at that university. And there's a bunch of people that want grants, and there's a bunch of people that want to play nice, and they want their career, they want tenure, and you got to be careful whose toes you step on. And if this one guy is the gatekeeper of him, or a group of guys like him at various universities are the gatekeepers to this information, you're going to come up with the current bottleneck problem that we see, where people are not just unwilling, but aggressively attacking people that question this, which is why they called Graham Hancock's show the most dangerous show on television. Like, that is so crazy. You have so many shows where people get murdered.
That's the best way to make a show go viral, though, isn't it? Best way to make a show go viral. Don't fucking watch this show. Like, you know what I mean? Like, great job on the PR.
They did a great job.
But it does bring up a disturbing and worrying element of it, just how quickly the mainstream media in various outlets all aligned at once to call him everything from a racist to a pseudoscientist to a conspiracy theorist. And, it is an alarming kickback that he's taken in his stride.
Yeah.
Yep, they'll go full board and attack you, but it's what you were saying. It's
Streisand effect, though.
Yeah, you're fighting up against the institution, and people want the institutions to be correct because it gives them comfort and security, and then they don't have to question their reality. That's what we in this alternative community. That's what we are doing. We are questioning the reality that is presented to us by academics, and we are finding flaws in that reality. It's not a comforting thing, and a lot of people are equipped to handle that. Dave.
No.
What not Dave? What Dave, what do you got to say?
Not me.
Unhinged.
No, I just meant Dave. What do you want to say?
Well, go Cody first, because this leads right into my next thing where I'm going next anyway. So
I was just gonna say, it to piggyback off what Aaron said, it really does. It's not a comfortable place to be. But for those of us that exist to just kind of poke holes in the narrative that's given, it's the best way that we can rationalize our reality, right? By falsifying the fake one that they lay out. So whatever it means, who knows? But we're just here to... That's why I say I don't know anything. I'm just the jester. I've just got commentary and no solutions. So whatever that means.
Well, there was a great podcast over there. Appreciate your feedback. It was a great podcast over there at the the Joe Rogan Experience. So if you're not following Joe Rogan or if you're not aware of him, you're kind of dumb at this point in time. But go check out Jay Anderson over there because he did a great job.
he did. It was a good episode.
Good plug to that fresh new Joe Rogan.
I cut all the UFO stuff. I didn't catch much of the ancient history stuff, but
they spent a lot less time on it than I wanted them to. Yeah, it was a lot of UFO stuff.
We know how much you love UFOs.
Well, I liked what he was saying. Because I liked that he was calling out Lou Elizondo, who I've always kind of felt has been a little bit of a snake in the grass for quite some time.
Never believed a word he said from the get-go.
Yeah.
Who's the guy who looks like Roadkill?
What?
the one that has the app. Greer. Stephen Greer.
Oh, Stephen Greer.
He looks like Roadkill. Come on, that didn't narrow it down.
Yeah.
That guy. Don't trust those people.
Moving on to our next topic here. Let me see. We've got the Underground podcast, Ancient Bone Breakers, with Stephen Holton and Michael Arbuthnot. Tell us about that. I'm not even familiar with any of this.
Yeah, so you actually are familiar with this,
maybe,
but you're gonna get it from like sort of a middle ground here, and this is what before I press play here, I really want to. So Underground, 1.79K subscribers. Everyone go out and subscribe to this guy's podcast. I think that this type of podcast is going to be huge in showing that there's a vast middle ground and gray area of opinion and people who aren't fighting on Twitter on one side or the other, including archaeologists and anthropologists and cultural anthropologists and whatnot. But this is actually talking about the Cerruti Mastodon site that's near San Diego. And this is the guy. This is the guy pushing the date back and bringing human history back much further with his dating of this stuff. And Michael Arbuthnot, he's a marine archaeologist. I did an episode with him. He's dove on the Titanic. He's dove at Yonaguni with Graham Hancock and John Anthony West. And these guys are archaeologists who, real respected archaeologists who have, quote, alternative opinions and ask alternative
Underground
questions.
features
and ask alternative questions. And then you can go ahead and play.
Wonderful.
This is an intro to the podcast for everyone.
Underground features independently minded archaeologists, anthropologists, historians, and science renegades on controversial topics and themes. And among those controversial topics, the peopling of the New World seems to be an audience favorite. And you, my friend, have a fascinating story to tell on that subject. So I'm very excited to have you here. For our audience's edification, Steve has a PhD in anthropology from the University of Kansas, and you currently reside in Kansas. You're the managing director at the Center for American Paleolithic Research, a nonprofit organization located in Hot Springs, South Dakota, that is dedicated to researching the earliest presence in the Americas. Your nonprofit's journal is called the American Paleolithic.
Yeah, I just wanted to show that, and he's listing off, and with great esteem, he's saying all these different titles, and this guy likely earned these titles under very rigorous, very difficult, very long play game, like 18 holes of academia, and likely did it through honest work. It's my belief that most academics are like that. In the dick holes who probably are watching us maybe on Twitter are like the silent, like the
With
one
their burner accounts.
Yeah, they're like 2% of the people in burner accounts. But go ahead and hit the second clip, and let's hear about this.
The Mammoth Step Hypothesis.
Well, it is that modern Homo sapiens, and when we developed this, we didn't really know about the Cerruti site yet. And I didn't think it was possible that humans got into North America more than 130,000 years ago. So we thought that this was the initial occupation of the Americas, that modern Homo sapiens were able to move north in Siberia and during the mid-Wisconsin, and there were some warmer periods there, and there was a land bridge much of the time during mid-Wisconsin, that they were able to become adapted to what we call the Mammoth Steppe. That's this biome of animals adapted to this vast grassland, and mammoths, mammoths, bison, horses, so forth, that were in Siberia, and that humans were able to cross the Bering Land Bridge.
What is the Mammoth Step Hypothesis?
Well, it is.
So the concept is humans follow the animals, okay? And they applied that to, and this is a question for after, but save this. Had you ever heard of the Mammoth Step Hypothesis? Number one. And then second, this is how they applied this to this site in San Diego, where he talks a little bit about that. And the type of dating and stuff they use, I believe. The next one.
Yep, get it up right here. Bear with me.
No worries. But excellent podcast, Underground, with Michael Arbuthnot.
Yeah, that's an awesome idea. Because, yeah, it is really such a minority of crap academics, and
Yeah,
unfortunately,
fuck
they're
those
the very
guys.
vocal
I
ones.
shouldn't even
Yeah.
feed those trolls.
Yep, I agree.
We thought these were the earliest people, modern Homo sapiens, coming into North America, and thought that anybody suggesting humans were here 100,000 years ago were quite fanciful. So,
Well, these are still some early entry points here. You're talking about people coming in 30 to 40,000 years ago. I mean, that's certainly well pre-Clovis. Well, it is pre-Clovis. What evidence are you do you have to support that early presence?
well, once again, we're using fractured mammoth bones in this situation, and we've excavated several sites in the Great Plains. And once again, we thought these were the earliest people, modern Homo sapiens, coming into North America, and thought that anybody suggesting humans were here 100,000 years ago were quite fanciful. So,
So go ahead and kick it. So the I can hear like something in the background. I don't know what it is, but I don't think it's me. Is it? Can one of you guys mute Cody? Mute yourself. No. I don't know. That's weird. Can you guys hear that?
Nope.
Chat, can you hear that?
I've been muted.
It's definitely not coming off my end.
If it's from me, you'll see my mic light up.
So they follow these bones and they look for signs of humans digging in them to get marrow, okay? And then they carbon date. It's very, it's when you're reaching back way into history, and that seems to be gone now. Whoever did whatever, that seems to be gone. They're reaching back way into history. There's a large margin of error, but they did that at that site in 1992 and 1993. And a dude named Richard Cerruti is the guy who that's why they named it the Cerruti Mastodon site. Anyway, there's controversial dating, quote unquote, but all dating is controversial. I want to be very clear about this. The further back in time you go, all dating is controversial. Okay. But except for this carbon comes from this time, and there's even a margin of error for that. The controversial dating comes from uranium thorium, which is a radiometric analysis of the mastodon bones published in Nature in 2017, giving an age of approximately 130,700 years to the site, which is a lot further back than when they originally announced at that site, which was about 100,000 years. So you got he's talking about the what is it? The Mastodon Steppe? Yeah, the Mastodon Steppe pushing this site back to 130,000 years, which is just shit. Just keeps getting older. That's what Graham keeps saying, and archaeologists say that too.
Wild stuff. Well, yeah, I'd never heard of the Mastodon Steppe before, but I mean, makes sense. Humans follow the food, and get where they're going. So it's crazy that, as you said, it just keeps getting pushed back and pushed back. That's a really cool podcast. Look at the Underground podcast.
Did you
It's
play
getting some
C
new
yet?
subscribers today?
Yeah, is there C? Because this is where he's talking about the pre-Clovis mastodon bones. Unless he already did. Did he already do that?
Yeah, I did do C. I did.
Okay.
I did that one.
Cool. Got it. Cool.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, check that out. And make sure that you guys check out another friend of the show who we're going to move on to with our next topic, Will Brown over at Incredible
Really
History.
quick. I'll be right back.
Yeah, Will's just been crushing it, laying down some awesome
has.
stuff. So, Cody, why don't you tell us a little bit about this latest video?
Okay, so Will's been covering the conquistadors, essentially. We'll call it the conquistador series. He's been going through some of the different, well-known conquistadors and their expeditions into South America, into North America, Central America. And this one that I clipped, Will Brown, for anybody who has had the pleasure of meeting him or interacting with him, you know what an absolutely funny and delightful this guy, just individual that he is as a person. So that really shows up here, his humor in some of the clips that he made in this video. So Go ahead and play this clip. It's freaking awesome, but goddamn, I laughed so hard. I rewound it so many times. Go ahead and
Gathered
play
more food here, but it was met with fierce hidden attacks from the wilderness. The chronicler Garcilaso describes a wild scene. The Indians were so watchful and astute that no Spaniard wandered 100 paces from the camps that they did not shoot them with arrows and immediately behead them. And as quickly as his people went to his assistance, they found themselves without their heads, which the Indians carried off to present to their cacique. Christians buried the bodies of the dead where they found them. The Indians returned the following night, dug them up, cut them into pieces, and hung them from the trees where the Spaniards could see them. In 2 days, they brought to their cacique 4 heads, 2 at a time, and 14 during the whole space of time the Spaniards were in his country. The Spaniards gathered more food here, but it was met with...
Okay.
That doesn't sound very fun.
Wait, Dave missed it. Play the beginning of the guy eating the corn and getting shot and just looking.
Yes, please. I'm sorry.
Dave, you gotta. Will is so
Somebody
goddamn
was making
funny.
a shitload of noise.
Garcilaso
upstairs, so I
describes a wild scene. The Indians were so watchful and astute that no Spaniard wandered 100 paces from the camps that they did not shoot them with arrows and immediately behead them. And as quickly as his people gathered more food here, but it was met with fierce hidden attacks from the wilderness. The chronicler Garcilaso...
He had some wild scenes in there. Like he's got one scene of a guy taking a piss and getting shot with an arrow.
I
It's
saw that
just
one, but it was a perfect shot. It literally hit him right in the heart from the back, and he fell straight forward while he was still peeing.
Dude, oh my god, he got me with that corn shot, bro. Will Brown. Oh man, I when I grow up, I want to be a storyteller like you, good sir.
That was a good one.
You killed it.
I love the
AI
King of
just
Alabama title too.
just makes things so much more fun. You want me to play this next one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Shore and were finally taken in by their own countrymen after years in these unknown lands. Out of the 600 who left Spain years earlier, it's estimated that only 300 survived to reach Panuco. Half the men, including DeSoto, were dead. The fate of the dismissed Indian servants varied, with many likely captured by rival groups after the expedition departed. This journey was a total disaster and left thousands of people dead in its wake. And that is the story of DeSoto and his expedition through La Florida. We're going to...
Okay, so the whole video is fantastic. The DeSoto Chronicles, which Will kind of covers a couple of those, he does a wonderful job of. But some of his videos, like the amount of detail that he was able to prompt into them is almost unnerving. And in this video, he did a really, really good job of balancing what is, like, honestly a really gruesome story, a really dark tale of what ended up happening to those conquistadors, with some really good Will humor. And you can tell because that's the funny thing about AI art, like you prompt it to life, right? Like people knock AI art, but it is your creativity that has to bring it to life, or AI just makes bullshit slop, and you can immediately tell. So, like, I gotta give it to Will and the amount of work that he's putting into these. They are top shelf. So, yeah, check out that video. Check out Incredible History and buy his book. I have it up there. People should get that on Amazon.
Yeah, Will's great. Will is a former teacher, former high school teacher, and just decided that sitting down there in front of the classroom doing things by the book was not his true calling. And I think we can all agree it was not his true calling. He's crushing it now. He just presented at Quest for Ancient Civilizations and had what a standout performance. So check out Incredible History on YouTube.
Easily one of the best. Yep.
Yeah. All right, moving on here.
I do love Will.
Sorry, Dave.
I was just going to say I do love Will.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Well, moving on here actually to Dave, I'm going to kick it back over to you because we got Aidan Robbins, the island at the end of the world over in Newfoundland.
Yeah, this is like kind of up from my neck of the woods where I grew up, but I've never actually been there. It's a province in Canada for you ignorant Americans. I'm from Nova Scotia.
What you talking about?
I'm from Nova Scotia, and anyway, that's not why I was interested in this. I'm just interested in the peopling of North America. So we're going to hit it from the other side. We're going to hit it we hit it from the back. Now we're going to hit it from the front. Okay. We hit it from Southwest United States. And now we're going to hit it from the Northeast of Canada. And the first two clips are about sort of a kind of a separate thing that I discovered that I thought was kind of neat. And the second two are about the peopling of North America. So go ahead and play this first one, Aaron.
Around 20,000 years ago, during the last ice age, ice sheets covered much of North America, including Newfoundland, carving a landscape of glacial valleys, fjords, and large inland lakes. With so much of the planet's water frozen on land, sea levels were much lower. A land bridge connected Alaska to Siberia, allowing humans to cross from Eurasia and begin populating North America. Large islands existed off the coast, one of the largest off the coast of Newfoundland. These islands provided a refuge where most of this region's plants and animals survived the Ice Age. The only animals that could reach Newfoundland were those that could
Why is he saying
swim
it
or
like
walk across the frozen ocean. Big, strong animals. Only half of the animals found on the mainland are found here, and the island has a much higher proportion of large and carnivorous animals. Wolves, bears, lynx, foxes.
Okay, play the next one. Please and thank you. Saying it like what? Does he have a lisp or something?
No, Newfoundland. I don't know. Newfoundland. He's putting some weird accent.
I'm from Nova Scotia. I call it Newfoundland. Newfoundland.
Yeah,
it's pronounced.
That sounds not like.
I mean,
what
it's spelled Newfoundland, but it's.
Is it really?
It's Newfoundland. It's Newfoundland. Yeah, Newfoundland. People from Newfoundland, we call them Newfies. You know.
Oh, I thought it was Newfoundland.
They're great people too, Newfies. Go for it.
Oh, I'm the ignorant American.
It's not Newfoundland. You thought it was
Living in
Newfoundland.
isolation, these animals have started to look different from those on the mainland. Instead of hunting snowshoe hares, Newfoundland's lynx hunt caribou. The caribou travel in smaller herds and make bigger migrations. Gray wolves are white. The Newfoundland black bear, Newfoundland crossbill, and Newfoundland pine marten are all considered separate subspecies from those on the mainland.
Fascinating.
Yeah. So 22,000 years glacial maximum or whatever it was. He said at the beginning, created isolation enough to create, kind of a Galapagos island, so to speak, in where it's genetic isolation long enough to change species. Isn't that wild? I didn't think that could happen.
That is,
yeah, adaptation. That's all Darwin talks about.
Yeah. So had you guys heard of anything like that happening that quickly before? I had not.
In
well,
Madagascar, it happens, right?
Yeah, with dogs and stuff. Like, look at how fast they've had dogs change over the last hundreds of years.
Yeah, that's true. Just change their environment and they adapt. Just crazy.
How fast the breeding cycles. Humans take a long time to do any kind of effective changes because it takes 20 years for each thing. But like with dogs, you can do it like completely new genetic partners from an offspring after 3 years. I think they
makes sense.
Sexual viability. So it just happens more often. And then I imagine there was a lot of animals, excuse me, that we have here on the mainland that went over there and then went extinct because they weren't able to adapt. They said,
a bunch.
Yeah, the lynx, now hunts
Can
caribou.
I mention again camels?
Yeah.
We had camels in North America, guys. That's where they're from. Camels are from North America. What the fuck?
So the next two, we're going to shout out some people who we've given names, humans, modern humans, but they probably called themselves different. But we're going to learn about 3 different groups of people who lived in this area during the initial peopling. So shout out to these intrepid, hard ass seal hunting, whale hunting, large caribou taking down humans.
They were
Go
badass.
Stronghold of the ice was in Labrador. Humans arrived here about 9,000 years ago, just as the ice was starting to melt. They settled on the coast, and by around 7,500 years ago, a unique culture had emerged. Between 5,000 and 6,000 years ago, they crossed over to Newfoundland, the last place in North America to be reached by humans. This little spit of land is probably where they first settled. The narrow channel here acts as a funnel for migrating whales and seals, making this a perfect location for hunting. The site was discovered accidentally in 1967 during an excavation for a movie theater. 3 burial grounds containing more than 100 skeletons and thousands of items, tools, animal bones, and carved animal figurines, all dusted with red ochre. It's from this site that we've learned most of what we know about these people. The last strong...
Hit the next one. You can transition right to the next one. But you know, think about how hard it would have been to live in the northeast of. You ready? You got it? Yeah, how hard it would be to have lived in the northeast of of North America at that time. Go ahead.
So shitty and cold.
It's here that researchers gave this culture the name Maritime Archaic. By 3,000 years ago, the Maritime Archaic had disappeared. 200 years later, a new group arrived, called the Grosswater. They were adapted to the cold, living along the edge of the sea ice to hunt, and a cooling climate had allowed them to expand south from the high Arctic. This site once again became an important camp for hunting seals, and today it's the best preserved Grosswater site. Around 1900 years ago, the Grosswater disappeared and a second Arctic group arrived, the Dorset. The Dorset also used this spot to hunt seals, camping in a large meadow by the beach.
All right, this is a really unique spot. It's this big open meadow right by the ocean, and it's kind of bumpy. And the closer you look, the more you walk around, it becomes more obvious.
You see those? If you would, you could have paused on those little bumps on the ground there. First off, I contend that those Grosswater, Archaic, Maritime, or whatever people are some of the baddest mofos to ever walk the face of the earth. And I dare you to prove me wrong, because it sucks up there. Aidan Robbins here, he does incredible cinematography, and he's a very good storyteller as well. And that particular video was stunning and gorgeous and filled with all kinds of interesting archaeological and anthropological information. So
very cool. Yeah, I hadn't heard of that guy's channel before, but that's a fascinating place, and I'll hold that with you. Yeah, those people that live there must have been incredibly hardy, incredibly badass. Yeah, whaling, killing whales from a freaking canoe with spears. Like, geez, Louise.
And then getting it back to the just getting it back would have been its own. If somebody right now said, "All right, the 3 of you modern, capable ass young men, get in a canoe, row out there, and drag back that whale carcass," we would struggle. And that's just the bringing it back portion.
Oh yeah,
I like that you said struggle, because I was about to say I could do it, we could do it, but yeah, we would be a struggle.
Did you know that
we would make it happen, or we would die out there with that whale carcass? But
did
we
you know
would
that
make
there's
shit happen?
There's an indigenous culture in Alaska, and even though whaling is illegal, they're still allowed to do it as part of their culture and their sustainability and their spiritual practices and stuff like that. So they do it once a year.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And they do that. They literally go out there, get a whale, and pull it in.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Well, check out that podcast there. That's Aidan Robbins, Island at the End of the World, with those newfies, those strange folk and those strange animals in Newfoundland. But we want to move on here. We're just about wrapping up the show. We just got a few more topics, but there's a couple of people that we cannot miss, and specifically personal friend of the show. We're gonna have a lot of friends of the show. I'm gonna have to start saying about everybody, but friend of the show, Jeff up north, has been making some interesting connections here between ancient Egypt and Michigan. So I've got this clip pulled up here. Cody, why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, just that was a perfect let-in.
Shout out, Jeff.
Just go ahead and get it pulled up, and yeah, go ahead and play this, and we'll talk about it a little bit.
But it's hard to tell from my pictures here. It's about just under 2 feet long. And then you compare that to this blade that was found in Thunder Bay, Ontario on Lake Superior. Very minimal differences, but about the same size, same shape, thousands of miles apart.
Very cool.
Okay, so the shape of stone tools and weapons is literally how they classify entire species of like, or subspecies of our species, right? They consider it an archaic technology. So when you're seeing a very particular shape appearing in the northeast of the United States area, and then also appearing over in Egypt, that's pretty wild. That's like, if you consider that just in archaeological fair game parameters, how they classify stone technology, you would be forced to assume that technology was passed between Egyptians and people living in, archaic America.
That's highly possible. Highly possible and very cool. Yeah, it's very cool to see those similarities there. Jeff up north's been doing some cool
Killing
stuff.
it.
Killing it.
Jeff's the man.
Recently appeared on Wandering Wolf with Ricardo Calvario of the Institute for Natural Philosophy, talking about the Upper Peninsula copper connection with the old world. Very fascinating stuff, possibly groundbreaking. Ricardo is standing up to academic rigor right now and answering questions and stuff like that, and revising his paper, I believe. And that's how this is supposed to be done. So shout out to Ricardo, and shout out to Jeff and all those guys. There's a whole Michigan copper conference that's been going on for 20 years. Did you know that?
The Michigan contingent.
Yeah, man. That it's a whole thing.
He's
I didn't
doing
know
great
that.
stuff.
Yeah,
You
shout
want to
out
play
Jeff.
this next clip here, Cody? All right, I'm going to run this clip for you.
I don't think there was enough copper even mined in Europe and the Mediterranean areas to have supported even just building the one pyramid. No, that's not counting the other 2 large pyramids there, plus all the other pyramids around Egypt, the structures at Karnak, Luxor Temple. I mean, and that's not counting the stuff we haven't even found, or that doesn't exist anymore, that's been destroyed.
So can I ask? So he's saying
Yep.
that there's, they didn't have enough copper to even have the copper chisels that they supposedly made all that stuff with, and so
He's
they must have got it
hypothesizing.
from Michigan.
No. He's saying
Not must
that,
have, but could have.
No, he's saying that
No,
they
he's
couldn't
not even
have built the
linking
pyramids
it.
with copper.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. That is the point right there that Aaron just said, is that and that I thought it was interesting, and I wanted to highlight it because that's something we could roundabouts test. They know relatively how much copper was in circulation at that time. You can run the math of how much copper they could have feasibly been importing versus how much copper it would take to cut through, X amount of granite and limestone, and actually find out if indeed they did have enough copper or even had the ability to import enough copper to do that. So I thought it was a really interesting point raised by Jeff, because one of my oldest shorts is breaking down the math of the pyramid was built in 25 years and
Mhm.
just how preposterous that is. And it just little things like that, they really are gateway drugs to, woo conspiracy. Because when you debunk just some of the most no, this is definitely how it happened, archaeological hot takes, the rest is kind of well, what else, So I think that was a good point raised by Jeff. Might be worth digging into a little more.
Yeah, I mean, my initial instinct with the matching saws is, that seems like a very interesting coincidence, but it could be coincidental, it could be intentional, which is, I think, is the fun part about this. It's like this type of alternative history stuff. We really just have such a limited understanding of what actually went down.
Yeah.
And it would be fantastic to learn that, like, oh, like there was some technology exchange at some point in time that like nobody knew about, but or that we haven't known about. So, you know, the possibilities exist out there, however slim they might be. So
That's my take, and that's been my take a lot lately. Is I just don't think we know shit. You know, we don't know a whole lot. There's so many. We
Stay
know
curious.
way less. Yeah, exactly. It's like whatever they say we know about the ocean. How much do they say we know about the ocean? Like it's
hardly any.
Think about how far back the past goes, and then how hard it is to like tell what happened the further you go back. And like we have a hard time telling honest human history for the last 100 years, and I'm not even going to get into that. So I don't know. Like I'm open to anything. We don't know shit.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, give Jeff up north a follow because he's doing some cool stuff. But you know who else is doing cool stuff and always talking about cool stuff is Praveen Mohan. So Dave, why don't you kick us off and tell us what Praveen's been up to over in the East?
Well, first of all, Praveen's been doing a bunch of tours to Cambodia and Thailand and all around that area, and showing all kinds of like temples and different things that you know, you don't get a lot of coverage. Here's one he guarantees you've never heard of. So let's ask the chat if anyone's still with us. Claire with blue hair, are you there? Hey, that rhymed. And you guys, if you've ever heard of this, go ahead and pick.
What if I told you this is not the Angkor Wat temple? And no, this is not a natural lake. Nobody knows about this temple. Okay. I bet you have never heard of this temple. It is known as the Ni Quan Temple in Cambodia. It is so mysterious that Wikipedia is not even calling it a temple. It is calling it an artificial island made during ancient times. But it gets even more strange. Who is this temple dedicated to? Lord Shiva? No. Lord Buddha? No. This entire temple is dedicated to Nagas, the snake-like reptile deities. The name what if
lizard people?
Yeah, that's wild. That's pretty cool. Man, the East has some cool shit going on. I want to get out to Cambodia and to Burma and Timor-Leste and all those places out there, because there is some neat shit happening out that way.
There is, and wait till you see the size of this thing. Hit the next clip because
for you.
So just think if you're
Hold on, let me pause it. Sorry.
if you're good. If you are building a temple, like you could say the bigger you build it, like the more you revere the God, right? So look at the size of this fucking thing.
As I entered the temple premises, I thought this was a natural lake, but experts confirm that this is a barai. Now, what is a barai? It is an artificial water reservoir, and this barai was built at least 900 years ago. How big is it? Normally, we use feet or meters to describe artificial constructions, but this barai is 2.2 miles or 3.6 kilometers long and almost 1 kilometer wide. That is how large it is. And if you see the satellite images of the Ni Quan Temple, it definitely reminds you of Angkor Wat, a piece of land with a temple in the middle, surrounded by a large
Yeah, that's crazy. I just literally, while we were sitting here, I put that on my list of places to go visit in the East.
Good,
I had to
because
Google map in.
Well, shoot, had you ever heard of it? Obviously not.
No, it's awesome.
I want to go to some of those snake culture places because they were doing some weird esoteric shit that woo stuff that I'm about, Aaron.
All that woo stuff.
We need to go with
All the
Praveen.
woo,
I want to
buddy.
go to those places with
Yeah,
Praveen
that would
because
be-
Praveen can tell you the subtle differences between the Hindu and the. There's a bunch of subtle like religious differences from country to country, and so he would be the guy I'd want to go with. But
Yeah.
because you wouldn't know what the hell you're looking at.
Yeah, give Praveen a follow. He's a great wealth of information, and he's doing a lot of events and a lot of presentations. So hit him up. Hit up Praveen Mohan over on YouTube. Excellent wealth of information.
Yeah.
And looks like, boys, we need to plan an expedition to Cambodia. Angkor Wat is high on the list. Let's get it going.
Me too.
Me too. Yeah.
Let's get it going. Well, we're just almost blah, 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 blah. Can't even talk. We're just about out of time. About to time for Dave.
Thank you.
But
Appreciate it.
Dave, we wanted to
Good
share one
Canadian.
more thing here that you found here that you wanted to share with us. We had a little group chat, as the boys have a group chat that is not available for public discourse. But this thing popped up on there, and Dave, why don't you tell us about it, because this is badass.
Well, at first I want to say that a flail is the weapon that William Wallace used to get revenge against the dude. I can't remember his name. I looked it up this morning and forgot it. But when the scene, I think it's the Battle of Bannockburn, where the Scottish nobles basically line up like they're going to fight with William Wallace, and then they walk off right as they are about to be called to battle and totally screw William Wallace. Well, he rides up the stairs of this dude's castle on his horse with a flail and goes whap and crushes his face. I remember seeing that when I was like 10 in the theater with my dad. So shout out Dad. But I just thought this was cool because they found this bad boy, and wouldn't that be cool to own? And it's near this Battle of Grunwald site. And it got me thinking, like what kind of medieval weapon would I use? And then so I started like a group chat about it and stuff like that. And we decided Aaron needs a battle axe or some kind of big two-handed sword or something.
Halberd. Yeah, I want the halberd. I want distance.
Yeah, that's
So,
a good one.
You can't use a shield with a halberd, right? It's a two-handed
No,
weapon.
you don't need a shield because you got a suit of armor on.
And about 12 feet of
Yeah.
distance with your halberd.
Yeah. No, if you get close, you're screwed.
class for sure.
Cody? What are you wielding?
Assassin archer class, of course. I got the backwards daggers and the bow.
That's the cheat build for pretty much every single RPG. I try to
That's-
make a wizard every time, and I always turn
Look,
into a
dude.
stealth archer wizard.
Look, Dave.
Well,
Here's
yeah,
the deal,
Dave,
my man.
yeah,
I'm
Cody, you
5'10"
got it
and a
going
half.
on. Yeah, well,
135 pounds, dude.
And
I
you're
am literally that build.
You're
Yeah,
ethnically
you are.
ambiguous too. You could pass as an Arab if you needed to. You could throw in a little bit
That's
of
true.
dirt and pass as a Mexican.
Could be
You got that
Yeah,
going.
Indian with dot, could be
Yeah.
Indian with feather. You don't
You're
know.
kind of a
Depends on
bird
my
though,
tan.
too. You're a rogue and a
Yeah.
bard, but I could see you wielding those weapons.
Yeah, you like to talk too much to be just a sneaky guy.
So you need
Well,
a short
but see,
bow
that could
instead
be
of a long
part
bow.
of my assassin ruse. You think I'm a bard?
What do you
I'm
guys
just there
think?
to
Drop us a
entertain you
comment
and
down in the
digest it.
chat.
Well,
We also want to know, what's your favorite medieval weapon? What would
Yeah.
you guys use? Oh wait, we need to figure out Dave. What was Dave again?
I'm dual wielding short swords, okay? And
Short
then
swords.
I'll sheath them here and pull out my short bow. But I'm just using all agility and as my defense, boys. I'm just rocking leather armor.
I like it.
Yeah, but
I
yeah,
like
me
it.
too. So like if Aaron falls, because we're obviously standing behind him, if Aaron
Yeah.
falls, we're fucking
You're gonna
toast
see
in
me
our leather
occasionally,
armor.
if this was real, like literally tumble and roll between Aaron's legs for protection sometimes.
Just like Elden
wearing a
Ring.
full suit of armor. Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Honestly, guys, I have thought before, those night fights where they like dress up in suits of armor and like go battle each other. I've
Yeah.
considered going and doing that, especially since I've been training jujitsu, because I would literally
would
just
be
go
rad.
tackle people. And then I'm bigger and stronger and more athletic and used to
get a
strangling
stab
people.
at
And go I would just do the same thing. It would be very cheap. Yeah, they'd be hitting with the sword, and I would just tackle him and go for a single leg.
I don't know. I think that's a good idea. I really do think you could do that because there are some big boys that compete in that, but I don't think they'd be ready to handle your wrestling and jujitsu.
Dude, yeah, I'm like, yeah, you get like real wrestling.
Catch them way off guard, bro.
Yeah,
You got
just
this.
charge them. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
not
you're in a
even-
suit
not
of
even
armor, I
real
could take
wrestling.
I could take a hit from a sword. I see them slap their swords and hit each other with it. It doesn't look that bad. I have no
I think
idea.
it probably
I'm sure
hurts
some-
a little bit. It's
Yeah,
like
I'm
getting
sure some-
kicked
The
in
way
the
you
leg.
said slap made it sound super not bad.
Yeah, they're gonna jump in the comments and tell me how wrong I am, and that's okay. I deserve it, and you know, maybe
I'm
invite me out
bruised.
there and kick the shit out of me because, you know, that's probably what'll happen if I ended up in a night fight.
Hey,
but you
hey,
know,
what's
that's
this
all right.
guy's page, by the way? I just wanted to shout him out real quick. Scroll to the top. I forget what it's called.
Oh, yeah, I've been
I actually
having this
have
up
his
here.
app,
Ancient
Origins, Unraveling the Mystery of the Past. He's on everywhere, and he sends me articles. So thanks.
Yeah, he drops a ton of stuff all the time, both on Twitter and on his website here.
Yeah. So sometimes it's a little out of my woo league, but most of it I like. I always like to have like an open mind about stuff. But shout out Ancient Origins. And shout out chat. Shout out Claire with blue hair, still here. Yes.
Claire, you rock. Listen, we got away. I got away from it. I dropped the ball on doing the chat promotions, the winning the free hat. So we're reintroducing it on this episode. We're going to repost it live once we're done live. Drop a comment, top comment, usually the first comment, but the top comment will win the free chat or free hat. And we'll mail it to you out anywhere in the world. Rue, who I mailed to one to in Australia, his got lost in transit, so I have to remail another one. But hey, it's an expense that we're willing to shoulder for all of our dedicated fans. We love you guys.
Oh, the Kangaroo Express couldn't quite get it there, huh?
Love you, Rue. I'm about to have a solar alignment right into my, as you can see, the sun is about to go right into my eyes. So it's perfect
Nice.
timing. Fellas, let's do this again next week.
We'll see you guys next week.
I
Thanks for
will
joining
see
us,
you
everybody in the
studs
chat.
then.
Thanks for watching. Everybody post.
Thank you
We're gonna
all.
clip this up. We're going to throw it up. We're going to have some fun. If you have any topics you want to recommend to us, DM any of us on X over there or on Instagram. We're always looking forward to new topics and new conversations. If you want to appear on the show and be a guest host with us, send us a message as well. But always, thanks for joining. Thanks for watching. We love you guys and have a wonderful rest of the day.
757 shout out 757.
Oh yeah, Robert Measures. That's who he won a hat. That's how I know his name. Robert Measures. We love him.
Stay curious.
One of our
my
hat winners.
friends. I love you.
Bye guys.